Hey guys, Cam for 15 back at it with another video for you guys, and it's kind of been a while on the channel now. Obviously, my other anime reviews for the winter or no, the fall of anime. I need to make a decision. I think I'm gonna have to obviously like do batch reviews for those animes that I've missed out on. And I thought that because I was off the entire Thanksgiving week from work, that I would be able to do that, but I was too damn lazy. I was sleeping, and then, was playing a bunch of freaking video games. I ended up buying freaking Mario RPG, um, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. What else? What else? I got the Mario 3D All Stars. I haven't dove deep into those games or anything. Well, Wonder and RPG I haven't gotten far. I feel like I'm in the middle parts of the game. But because of that, I was too lazy, and then I was playing PS5 and I was enjoying my week off. Then I'm like, damn, I really gotta make videos. And again, like I said, it's kind of being lazy when it comes to this. Now, obviously, I know I missed the last 2 weeks of episodes for Wano. We're talking about those episodes in this because when the episode that came out 2 weeks ago, I missed that one. And then I was thinking about doing the episode that came out not this past Saturday, the last Saturday. But then I realized, wait, no. The end of Wano will probably be the next week, which is this week, this Saturday. I'm recording this Saturday night. This episode review is going up Sunday morning because it's super late. And I was like, you know what? Let me just do one whole. Let me talk about the last 3 episodes because it's the last 3 episodes of the Wano arc in the anime, and I feel like that's best. Now, again, background information. I'll probably I'll probably have to find time this week to talk about Goblin Slayer because that stuff has been crazy. Which means I'll have to go back and rewatch those episodes, which that's another thing that kind of sucks about reviewing batch episodes that I've seen. I have to rewatch and refresh my memory. The same goes with Spy X Family. I think with Shield Hero, I'm only like 2 episodes behind, 2 or 3. Yeah, 2 episodes behind, so I should be fine with that. Again, look, before I start the review, I apologize for not getting these reviews out. I'm not trying to excuse myself, but obviously with me being more busy with work, and then the fact that I get home late, and then I also want to enjoy whatever piece time I have left, I might not be getting episode reviews out on time, and they honestly might be more batch releases. So now realizing that I gotta do a job and everything, it kind of feels like my channel goes on hiatus, I guess, for a bit, but when I can make the videos, I'll definitely do it. But let's talk about One Piece. That also will go for the manga chapter reviews for My Hero. I'll probably do a batch chapter review for that too. I know One Piece has been going crazy in the manga with everything that's been going on there. I'm not going to spoil it, but whatever. Anyways, let's get to the One Piece anime episodes, which is about the last 3 episodes of the Wano arc. And then before I call it this a video, I will also talk about the news about the new One Piece next main story arc, the Egghead arc. If you didn't know, there's a separate trailer on Toei's YouTube page or their social media sites and everything, just basically giving kind of like a brief, I guess you can say a brief preview to the next main story arc in the One Piece story, which will officially start, well, actually next week will officially start the end game of One Piece, which I'll talk about in a bit. But let's talk about the end of the Wano arc. So how this video is going to be structured, I'm going to talk about the 3 episodes that I missed or have yet to talk about, including tonight's episode, which is the 3rd episode. I'll talk about the Egghead stuff, the Egghead preview stuff and everything, and then we'll just get out of here and everything. So, all right, and then I'll give you my thoughts on the Wano arc as a whole, like brief summarization. I'm not gonna add this, but anyways, this is One Piece episode 1083. So the first episode I missed. Essentially, this is like, again, the beginning stages of the end of the Wano arc. you know. Now you have it to where Kinemon ends up checking, and Kinemon and crap. I forgot. Kiku ends up checking on Shinobu and Raizo, because remember, against the fight against Ryokugu, they pretty much turned into like dried individuals, so they can't really do much of anything, right? So they're just kind of there now. Chopper, he did some medical stuff on their bodies and basically just gave them like IV fluids and everything. And basically he told them like, oh, they'll be fine, just give them rest and time, they'll be good. So yeah, that's kind of the thing right then and there. Now the Scabbards, Dog Storm and Inarashi, or Cat Viper, they basically talk about Ryokugugu and how strong he was, and then the fact that Ryokugugu basically made the mention in their fight, like, listen, the only reason why I just now showed up is because Kaido was gone now, and you people need to realize that, what you may have did for yourselves might have actually been good for your freedom, but at the end of the day, the one thing you can say Kaido had going for you is that he deterred the world government from coming in and trying to steal Wano and everything. Which that is true. Like, you got to look at it from the standpoint, because we know how the world government is structured. The Navy and everything, unless they were given the A-OK to attack an emperor, really typically the world government would avoid the emperors at all costs, because they know how strong the emperors are, and it's kind of like that thing is like, okay, we don't want to F with Kaido. We know he's like a problem, so we'll just leave Wano alone. If somehow he leaves or he gets taken down, I guess we can go over there and we can go handle our business there and take over. But whatever. But that's kind of the thing right then and there. So obviously, now with this, you have to kind of think about, is Wano potentially going to be targeted by the world government a lot more now? Because Kaido's gone, because now they see, okay, that's kind of the thing there. And who knows? Listen, Ryokugugu was only turned away because Shanks got involved. He uses Conqueror's Hockey, and it basically made Ryokugugu go away, just basically retreat. And then, in a way, kind of like, all right, whatever, I don't care. I'll come back next time, and you better do what I tell you to do. So that's kind of the thing right then and there. So you have to wonder, is this going to be the first of many attempts the world government would have to try to go after Wano? You have to make a mention of that. Now, the only way they would probably be deterred, or just be like, nah, let's not F with these guys, is the whole rumor about the samurais and stuff like that. So yeah, but then again, it's like, well, who knows what could potentially be happening. They also they asked Kinemon about Oitsuru, his wife. We found out that she wasn't hurt too badly in the burning of Okabor Town. She just kind of got some burns, but she's a-okay. She's just got like a patch over her eye or something. Kinemon also confirms that he saw her and he's happy to see her, and that she still looks beautiful after all these years and everything. So then, anyways, you have it to where the one monkey mink ends up, the one that looks like the goddamn freaking tambourine freaking monkey from freaking Toy Story 3, which, yeah, I don't know if you heard about that. Apparently Toy Story 5 is in the works. I feel like that would have to be its own separate video, but I don't give a crap. Toy Story 3 was my ending. I don't affiliate with Toy Story 4. I saw it. I don't affiliate with it. I'll go probably see Toy Story 5, but I'll be like, I don't give a shit. Like, what the hell is the point? Toy Story 3 was the ending. Why did they ruin it? Oh, wait, cash grab. And it's funny because I saw a tweet, somebody said, well, I guess we'll be back here when it's Toy Story 87. Anyways, the monkey tells Carrot that Dog Storm and Cat Viper wants to meet with her. And the reason for this meeting is basically to promote her to be the new queen of the Mokomo dukedom. Dukedom. At Zou, and she is now the new ruler of the Mokomo dukedom. Now, Carrot at first is like, oh, really? Okay, sure, that's nice. And then when she realizes, she's like, wait, whoa, wait a second. I'm the ruler now? I don't know about this. So what happens is basically they have full confidence in her. She's kind of doubting herself because she's like, well, I'm not as strong as you guys are, and and everything. But the other Meeks are basically there for Carrot, saying like, oh, it's okay, we'll walk you through it, we'll help you out, we'll be right by your side and everything. And basically, she, and you have it to where Wanda basically goes up, and they were basically saying, well, the reason why we chose you to be the new ruler is because you embody essentially the spirit of Pedro. And that makes Carrot remind of that one conversation her and Pedro had about, at some point it's gonna be your turn, and this whole thing about like the next generation stepping in to replace the old generation because it's their turn now. It's like with what we saw a few weeks ago with Shanks, when he basically unleashed the Conqueror's Haki and basically said, you ain't gonna mess around with this new era. I want to see what they can do, but at the same time, I'm also gonna go out there and do what I need to do. But it's their turn now, so don't get in the way of that, basically. And I'm just gonna say, and we've kind of been seeing this whole thing, throughout this entire post time skip arc or saga, really this second half of the it was teased a bit in like pre-time skip near the end, near like freaking Sabodi Archipelago and everything, and definitely Marineford, but it's definitely been going on during the post time skip stuff about the next generation, coming up, taking out the old guard, and making a new era, essentially. It's basically one of that, and Cat Viper and Dogstorm are basically like, well, we trust you youngsters to raise Zoe well and lead Zoe in the right direction, and it's really showing that the times are changing in the One Piece world. You look back at it, Kaido and Big Mom, two people of the old era, the old generation, guess what? They've been taken down, and the new generation of pirates who are going to be basically leading the charge for the next few years, they took him down. So, it's kind of that whole new era type of thing right then and there. So, when I first read this in the manga, I was actually pretty damn shocked that I'm like, oh shit, they're making her essentially the fucking queen of freaking Zoe already. I'm like, shit, I thought she was gonna join the Straw Hats after this. Like, I legitimately thought she was gonna join the crew. And to be honest, it kind of threw me back. I'm like, you know what? Actually, this probably works best for Carrot in her direction. They built her character up. She traveled across the Strats. We saw the potential she had and everything that happened. And at the end of the day, she does embody the spirit of Pedro. So it makes sense that, she would be the next ruler. And if Pedro was probably still alive, he probably would have been the next ruler of the Mokomo Dukedom. But they're like, you know what, actually, let's go with Carrot because she's got the spirit of Pedro within her. And she's got a commanding presence that will lead her, or that will have the other Minks, follow her direction and lead her. So it's going to be very interesting to see where that's going. But, for people that were predicting Carrot, that would join the Straw Hats, well, that ain't happening. We'll get to Yamato as well, too. So that's kind of the thing right then and there. Now, Sukiyaki, he also tells Momonosuke and Hiyori about himself and that he's still alive. They're pretty emotionally invested about that. He essentially apologizes for not telling them, but Momonosuke and Hiyori, they're not really blaming him for that. They're just happy to see him because, like, dude, that's like their grandpa. They're just happy to know that, okay, yeah, our mom and our dad are dead, but shit, we still have our grandfather that's still alive. So that's something family related that we still have left. And with Sukiyaki, even though he does say he's just going to still live around as a Tengu and not really do much of anything and kind of still just be what he was doing, you could also think that he might also help Momonosuke in learning how to become a shogun and teaching him the things and everything. So that's kind of the thing. You get this funny scene where Kinemon realizes this. He gives the same exact look like way back before the start of the freaking raid on Onigashima, that one look where he had where people thought he had this grandmaster plan, and he kind of plays it off as like, oh, I knew, but in reality he didn't freaking know and he didn't see this coming and shit like that, when it was kind of predictable, when we kind of know most people kind of had a figuring out like, okay, that's probably Sukiyaki right then and there. So that's kind of the thing. We cut over to the Straw Hats. Robin's essentially telling them about what she found out from Sukiyaki about Pluton and everything. Frankie's kind of shocked about that, and everything. And Robin asks Luffy like, "Hey, what you want to? Is there something you want to do about it or something?" And obviously Luffy's like, who cares and everything. Shockingly enough, he actually remembered the fact like, oh, it's those blueprints that Frankie destroyed. So, that's kind of the right thing then. But it kind of makes sense that Luffy wouldn't really care about the Pluton. Like, we know Luffy's kind of a carefree, dumb kind of character anyways. So, anyways, but again, Robin puts up this whole perspective, this whole thinking space of the fact like, it still doesn't make sense why Odin wanted to open the borders, which would release the Pluton. Like, what would be the point? I think Sanji made the mention too. Is like, okay, what the actual hell? How would happen in this country then? Again, like I said, more than likely, my best guess is it seems like the people of Wano must have built Pluton. It's definitely shown or explained in some cases that Wano is somewhat advanced. Because remember the Kozuki clan, they did mold and make the poneglyph, so maybe the Pluton is made of that type of material that the poneglyphs are made of. So that's kind of crazy. Again, you have to wonder that, or again, my prediction in this whole case is, and again, until we get the Void Century flashback, which again, till this day, I'm still looking forward to seeing. I just hope I'm still alive. Again, I'm a young dude, so I should still be alive by the time the One Piece series is over. Hopefully nothing tragic, sadly, happens in my lifetime. But the thing is, I just have a feeling that the ancient people of Wano must have had some sort of connection with the ancient kingdom of the Void Century. And my best guess is while the world government was trying to take over and maybe claim these ancient weapons, the best thing is this ancient kingdom probably like, hey, take the Pluton, hide it somewhere in your country so the world government cannot find it. Because we can't have these people get this crazy battleship in their hands. So who knows? But again, that's kind of where we're left at with the Pluton situation. So yeah, Shinobu ends up coming in. She's completely different now. She looks like your typical One Piece chick in any anime form. She's not an ugly fat lady, I guess you would say. She's actually an attractive, slender, big boob, big ass One Piece girl character you typically see. Obviously Sanji and frickin' Brook are like, oh my goodness, yes. So yeah, Otama appears is also there, tells Luffy that okay, she's an apprentice under Shinobu to become a bewitching ninja essentially, and she basically says like, I'm gonna join your crew essentially when I get stronger. Basically kind of like the same thing that she promised Ace as well. Now we have it to where Caribou in the background, he overheard all this news about the Pluton and everything, and then he ends up like kind of saying to himself, like, I gotta tell that man. Now, we already know Caribou knows about the location of where what is I'm sure Hoshi's ancient weapon? Gosh. Oh my god, I'm blanking on it. How can I blank on this? Poseidon. Jeez Louise. Come on, man. It's late, guys. It's late. Poseidon. Now he knows the location of where Pluton is. Now, my prediction with Caribou is this. I feel like the man he is talking about is he more than likely talking about Blackbeard. It feels like he would definitely be in Blackbeard's crew. Or if not, I feel like he just knows Blackbeard and he's like, I can feed him this information. So we already kind of know Blackbeard's in some way kind of on the move because of the incidents that were happening in Wano. So my best guess is whenever he escapes the Straw Hats or whatever, he's going to end up telling Blackbeard like, hey, I know I got some information that you might want to hear. I know where Poseidon is, and I also know where Pluton is as well. So that's my best potential guess. It makes sense. He's a sniveling type of character, and let's be honest. I feel like that would be the only other person, because what else, unless this is some sort of mysterious evil guy that we know out there, I don't freaking know. And I highly doubt he works for the world government, because originally he was captured by the world government. So yeah, that's kind of the thing right there. So anyways, eventually Momonosuke, he's getting all these tasks from these other people about this like shogun stuff, but he ends up looking for Luffy. They're not there, but then he's told like, oh yeah, or Yori just tells him like, oh yeah, they like said their goodbyes, they left and everything. So yes, that's when we cut over to Tokage Port, where Kid, Law, and Luffy's ships are at, essentially ready to set sail. They're all bickering back and forth and everything, and deciding what they need to do next and everything, and where they're headed next. And basically, they know the directions where they're going now. Luffy is going northeast, Kid is going to the east, and Law will be going southeast. Again, northeast is essentially the direction where the next arc will be taking place, which is Egghead Island. So that's where Luffy will be going. As where Law and Kid goes, you'll be finding out as the episodes continue on. So yes, now the thing is, Luffy's kind of getting upset. He's like, man, why do I have to play by these type of rules? I'm the emperor here. Like, if anything, I should be the one getting the first dibs. But then that's when Kid brings up the fact, like, oh, frick, don't talk about emperors. You talk about emperors, but you bad enough being an emperor is already pissing me off. This guy right here is pissing me off. And he's talking about Buggy and the Cross Guild and everything. We find out that Crocodile and Mihawk are apparently working under Buggy, which Law ends up saying, well, it makes sense why they gave him the title of Emperor. If you got freaking Mihawk, Red Eye Mihawk working for you, and Crocodile, a former warlord of the sea, essentially working under you, well, it makes sense why you would be an emperor. So that's kind of the thing. Now we find out we find out about what is it? We find out about the Cross Guild, of the fact that apparently Buggy's Cross Guild essentially is putting bounties on Navy members, and you get paid this amount of money. Now how this came to be, we won't know. We'll actually find that information out in the next new episode of One Piece, because that's what it seems like the next episode preview is focusing on. But you see, that's actually pretty interesting, because we know the Marines do it for the pirates. Now it's pirates targeting Marines and having bounties on their heads. So now it seems like, okay, certain Marine figureheads are going to have to watch the hell out, because holy hell, if those people get captured or killed, well, then they can just go to the Cross Guild and be like, hey, I did this, and here's the proof to do it. And then guess what? They get paid money to do it. So that's kind of the thing right then and there. So yeah. Anyways, after that, they looked like they're going their separate ways. The set sail. Law ends up giving Kid a copy of the robe poneglyph that they found with Sukiyaki, Robin and Sukiyaki. And basically Kid is like, wait, why'd you give me this? And basically Law's like, see, cheating would be no fun. So listen, take this as like the last, thing of our alliance, this last good thing. But after this, we're done. So that's kind of the thing. Now, Kid says in order to help find them the One Piece and get closer to finding the One Piece, they got to find this man with apparently a burn scar. What that may be, who the hell knows? So that's kind of the thing right then and there. And that's kind of where the episode ends up going, and because it focuses on Yamato basically saying like, oh, it's time to be Kozuki Oden or whatever. So the next episode, it's kind of a little bit of like prequel into the setup before they leave. You have it to where Luffy goes up to the old Oden, palace area, and he kind of reminisces about everything that's happened up to this point. So once everything, and essentially, the other scabbards, they end up walking here, and they basically say, and Luffy's asking like, what are you guys doing here? And basically they say like, oh, we're just here to tell Lord Oden that we had won the war and everything. And they give their prayer, and they tell Oden, obviously spiritually wise, like, hey, we did this, we finally took down Kaido with the help of our new friends, we have avenged you, and we've done what the prophecy states. So that's kind of the thing right then and there. Carrot ends up showing up, tells the Straw Hats, like, okay, hey, listen, I'm the new ruler of Zoe. I wanted to go with you guys and not, end our journeys here, but I got a new task to do. And obviously that's kind of the thing right then and there, which it's kind of a pretty emotional goodbye, because those characters have been with Carrot for a long time. And again, like you said, you'll see with Momonosuke later on in this recent episode how he got pretty emotional about that as well. Zoro is also at Yasuie's grave, paying respects to Yasue. Yasuie also kind of a way signifying like, okay, dude, you can now rest easy. Everything's done. Everything. Hiyori ends up like coming in and just telling him about like, oh, everything that happened, and they kind of have a talk. So that's kind of the thing right then and there. So nice little talk. They talk about Enma and everything, and kind of her way of saying like, thank you for everything you've done. Um, you know, just take good care of Enma and master it well, essentially. So yeah, you have more people saying goodbye. Frankie says goodbye to the one builder guy he was working under with his, fake personality or his fake character he was doing when they first got to Wano. You can kind of see how the guy was getting very emotional in a way and everything. So yeah, Sanji was making the soba stand one last time for the people of Wano. He ends up running to the one chick he ended up saving and the mouse, Shu, and basically you just have it to where it seemed like this girl was gonna confess her feelings for Sanji and just say like, hey, I really like you. But I think she like saw like the way Sanji was acting towards Robin, and maybe she just felt like, oh, maybe he likes her or something like that. Don't know, but hey, listen, Sanji has two girls that apparently love him. Are actually are have I won't say it well. We know Pudding loves Sanji, but man, we don't know that. Well, it's clear that this girl, this Wano girl, was very infatuated and had feelings for Sanji. Obviously, probably because he saved her and everything, but she didn't say her feelings. She didn't tell her feelings to Sanji and everything. And I think, from what I remember, she was actually going to ask him. Sure, she was actually going to tell him like, I kind of like you or something like that, or kind of just asking like if he could just stay, especially for her. So Sanji is so far 0 for 2 when it comes to the ladies' men's. Well, technically, Pudding is still up in the air. He just got his memory erased for the fact that Pudding kissed him. But I fully expect if Sanji ends up getting with a girl at the end, I don't believe it would be Nami. I feel like it's definitely gonna be Pudding. Again, also too, funky coincidence that Hiyori ends up going to where Zoro's at. And I just find it absolutely hilarious that in a way the main three trio, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, they all kind of have romance partners that are all in a way like princesses, are queens. Obviously, Boa Hancock is a princess, queen, whatever you want to call it. Hiyori is pretty much a princess. And Pudding, well, let's be honest, she's kind of a princess, as well. So those three characters, they all have their own girls. It also kind of seemed like also too in the discussion between Hiyori and Zoro, Hiyori in a kind of a weird way, it just felt like to me like, oh, she probably doesn't want Zoro to go because she might like him. Again, obviously we know Zoro has ties to Wano. His heritage is clearly there because the one guy in Yamato's backstory literally is like a descendant of Zoro. On top of it, Ryuma is also a descendant of Zoro as well too. Which is explained. I think you have to read the SBS to see that Ryuma is related to Zoro. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, One Piece fans. So that's kind of the thing right then and there. So what the heck? I don't know what's going on in the back, but whatever. Yeah, that's kind of the thing right then and there. So you never know. Maybe he returns to Wano and he ends up hooking up with Momonosuke's sister. Makes sense, you take his sister. But I don't know. I don't know. So that's kind of the thing right then and there. Um, they're Kinemon and Momonosuke. That's when we kind of cut back to the present. Kinemon and Momonosuke, they're looking for Luffy and everything, and they're looking for Yamato. Yamato ends up saying, "Yeah, let's go find Luffy and everything and stuff like that." You know, the Straw Hats make the mention of like, "Oh, we said goodbye to everyone. We forgot to say goodbye to Momonosuke and Kinemon." And basically, Luffy's like, "Don't worry, they'll come," which leads us into this week's episode, to where you have it to where Momonosuke ends up meeting up with Luffy. He's very pissed off about this whole thing. Like he turns into a dragon. And it's funny because like I think it was, I forgot it was Yamato or Kinemon. They asked him like, why are you not flying, Momonosuke? And he's like, don't worry about it. Whatever, I don't care. Also, too, there's like this play going on explaining like the events of the fire festival, and everything. So you kind of have it. That quick little thing kind of explains what happened with the Hiyori stuff. She ends up like telling Orochi because Orochi is like, listen, the Kurazumi clan curses Wano and everything, but you know, um, Hiyori basically stepped in and basically said, this line, black charcoal would not be called Kurazumi if it wasn't burned. Um, my best interpretation is essentially saying the Kurazumi clan is a bunch of just evil people and bunch of charcoal and everything. Um, listen, it wouldn't be a Kurazumi. Charcoal wouldn't be Kurazumi if it wasn't born, essentially signifying like dirt wouldn't be dirt if it wasn't fucking burnt. So yeah, and he just got burned away and he's dead. So that's kind of the thing right then and there. So yeah, that's basically it. So that's the thing. Now, in this whole discussion with Luffy and Momonosuke, we also find out sad news, and I was definitely sad in the manga when they revealed this news. But Yamato will not be joining the Straw Hats, and yeah, I really wanted Yamato to join the Straw Hats and be a new member just because it's like, okay, she's a girl. We'll have three girl companions. Okay, if we're not getting Carrot, we'll get Yamato. And I'm thinking we're getting Yamato and Jinbei joined, but no, no. Yamato will not be joining the Straw Hats. Which now when you think about it, she is legitimately the strongest, out of the Scabbards and Momonosuke at this point in time. I feel like Momonosuke, he will get stronger and he'll be even stronger than his dad, which he proclaims that he wants to be. He wants to be stronger than Odin, his father, which led to a funny little gag scene where Yamato was like, "You want to be stronger than me?" And they're like, "No, you're not Odin." Which, listen, if Momonosuke is gonna aspire to be stronger than his dad, of course he's gonna be stronger than freaking Yamato. Which, also with Yamato staying, it also leads me to believe. I feel like Yamato. This is just me. Yamato and Momonosuke. I feel like they definitely have chemistry with one another. They have chemistry. So my prediction is like end of One Piece series when we're like maybe going like all over the world and seeing where characters we know throughout the story are at where they're at currently. I would not be shocked if like after a few years we get like a few years time skip to see what's going on with people in the world. I would not be shocked if like Momonosuke and Yamato are a married couple. I will not completely be shocked. To me, I just feel like the chemistry is there. I feel like they would just be hand in hand together, helping each other out, and then they're slowly but surely gonna probably just fall in love, and then, yeah, guess what? Right then and there. So I just have a feeling that okay, Yamato and Momonosuke, they're probably gonna start. They're gonna their relationship's gonna start. It's gonna probably be platonic, and then something's gonna happen. We're just gonna like take their relationship to the next level, and then next thing you know, maybe end of One Piece, we're gonna see these two characters probably like married together, husband and wife, both leading Wano essentially. Which for Yamato's character, if it goes that direction, I don't know what Oda has any plans for that or whatever. How the future of the Wano characters are if we ever do cut back to them at the end of the series. But it would kind of make sense of the fact, like, okay, she would be ruling alongside Momonosuke, leading the country that the guy she idolized would be, and that's Odin and everything. So, yeah, but I listen, I'm not opposed to it, but I was actually shocked that Yamato wasn't going to join the Strauss, but again, it makes sense. She's literally out of the Scabbards, and even Momonosuke at this point, she's the strongest character in all of Wano, and it would kind of be pretty bad of her to leave, and maybe that's why she just decided. Maybe she just saw the fight against the Admiral, and she's like, okay, until Momonosuke gets strong enough to handle himself in a fight, it's probably best that I probably just stay here and help out and everything. And, obviously her whole goal was to go out to sea and be like Oden and do what he did, but I just have a feeling maybe she just felt like, you know what, I'm actually probably free in Wano, and I can actually go see the other sites and people and, and everything. So yeah, and maybe that's another thing. Now she can go out and see the other regions of Wano as well, because that was one thing that, hey, Odin did. He went to the other regions to see what was going on before he went out to sea. So maybe that's what she's going to do. Because really, she was only stuck on Onigashima for all her life. She can go out, view the other regions and everything, not just the flower capital. She can go to the many other regions in frickin' Wano. So that's kind of the thing. But Momonosuke, he pulls up on Luffy. He gets very upset, but that's when he starts breaking out into tears, basically saying and pleading with Luffy and the Straw Hats not to go and everything. And you can feel for the kid, because at the end of the day, he is a kid. Even though he's in an adult's body, he's still a kid. And obviously, for this kid who's in a 7-year-old kid's book, a 7-year-old, the 7-year-old mind of a kid in a grown man's body, it makes sense. Like, Momonosuke was with the Straw Hats since Punk Hazard, so a lot of time has passed. Probably a few months had passed since when he was with them, and obviously he depended a lot on that with Luffy and everything, just helping him to do this. And he makes the mention like, if it wasn't for you guys, I would never be able to smile, I would never be able to live, I would never be able to be the shogun of this country if it wasn't for you guys helping me. And I don't want to see you guys go, and I don't want to let you guys go. And obviously, again, like I said, he's a kid really, and he got attached to the Straw Hats. They were like his family to him. They were kind of in a way like his new family. That even though like, that was his friends, they in a way those were like his family. Like the family he traveled with that he can never get enough time to spend with Odin and Toki. So you feel for it, and it's a very emotional scene and everything. And Luffy is like, "Hey, dude, listen, you know, we gotta go do our own thing, but listen." I love how this comment, how Luffy said, "I looked at you like you were a little brother to me," and that was like you could tell that made Momonosuke's day and made him even more emotional. The fact like this guy that even though he freaking did all this crazy stuff to me, he punched me and shit like this. And in a way, he kind of treated me harsh. At the end of the day, Luffy did do right by Momonosuke, and in a way, did have that brotherly bond with him. So yeah. Anyways, they give a present to Momonosuke, which in the last episode before this new episode, what is it? Usopp went to this tailor shop and everything, and this is what the reason was this tailor shop is, and this is this giant flag with the Straw Hat logo on it. And basically it's kind of Luffy saying, listen, if there's anybody that comes here, just show them this flag, and they'll basically saying that, listen, even though it's your country, we're your friends and everything, and guess what, this is also Straw Hat territory. And Luffy's whole mantra, the fact like, if you mess with any of our friends, well then we'll kind of come back and we're gonna come kick your ass, essentially. So it's kind of that whole thing, like with the Straw Grand Fleet and everything, just call for help and we'll be here to help you and everything. I feel like that was kind of a nice thing to do, and I feel present right then and there. So yeah, the Straw Hats, they end up leaving and taking off. Yamato, Kinemon, and Momonosuke, they all wave off and say their goodbyes. Momonosuke really doesn't wave goodbye. He kind of just lowers his head as a way of saying thank you for everything and thank you for all you've done and everything. So yeah, the Strahds are basically selling off. They run into Kid and Law again, and essentially the thing is they're gonna take the one port where it would take them down the waterfall with ease, but and that's the thing where Nami's going. But then Kid is like, "Please, that's for sissies. We're gonna go down the hardcore way." And basically, it's going down the damn waterfalls. So Luffy and Law, they didn't like Kids antagonizing, so they're both turning their ships to go that damn direction, and they're just like, we're not gonna be outshined by you, freaking Kid, even though the other members are like, what the hell are you doing, Luffy? Even Beppo's like, Kid, or not Kid, Law, please, come on. So that's kind of the thing right then and there, and they just fall down to get to the next, to get to where they need to go to. So yeah, that's kind of the thing there. And then the last bit of the episode is obviously the play, and then it's it's Momonosuke, Yamato, and Kinemon just walking through Wano, the flower capital, basically going to where the next thing is, and Momonosuke planning what needs to be done next for Wano, and you get the credits rolling, in those like Japanese plays where it says the end and everything, and that's where the episode ends off, and we are officially done with the Wano arc as a whole. The Wano arc for the anime is officially over, and it's been like, oh shit, how long was the Wano arc going on? It was going on for like damn near 3-4 years, if to my recollection. I don't know when the first episode of Wano aired, but I think it had to at least been 2, 3, maybe 4 years that the Wano arc in the anime has been going on. Which goes to show you how long this arc was. At the end of the day, it is one of the longest One Piece arcs in the series, and everything. But this anime adaptation of the One arc was going on for around 2, 3, 4-ish, 4-ish years. Yeah. Absolutely great ending. My thoughts on the Wano arc as a whole. It's definitely in my top 5. It's not in my top 3. It's in my top 5, most definitely. It was everything about this arc was really good. And again, it's just the build-up this arc had. I think that's what makes this arc great. The build-up from Punk Hazard through Dressrosa to Zoe, then a little bit of a cutoff with Whole Cake Island, and then the Reverie stuff, but then focusing back here. But at the end of the day, those major arcs, the first major arcs, Punk Hazard, Dressrosa, Zoe, Whole Cake Island, they all had a part to play to get to the point that is the Wano arc, and the buildup is what it is, just dating back and everything to what was going on, and it was just a crazy ride, just an absolute crazy ride that I will never forget, and it was a really damn good arc. Kaido, I thought he was a damn good villain. Obviously, character background wise, he wasn't as very expressed or desired. He was expressed and even told upon, like, okay, what the heck's going on here, and the character and everything, but at the end of the day, like, you really get too much in the character and some things and everything, and he kind of in some cases just felt like generic in terms of, okay, I just want to get stronger and fight a strong opponent, and everything. So yeah, but he was still a good villain, and I still liked what he brought, because there was times where he was like, oh shit, yeah, he's despicable and he needs to be stopped. So yeah, the characters were all great. I think some people, when they read the manga, they weren't really like, okay, it's good, but it doesn't really like do it for in a way. It was fine for what it was. It's kind of what most people were after reading the manga for Wano, when that arc concluded in the manga, people were saying. But I feel like the anime, with the way Toei did their animation, and you have to give Toei's props, and I understand Toei is not a very liked anime company from the modern day public, but you have to give credit where credit's due. I think Toei enhancing the Wano arc and putting a lot of love and care into the Wano arc with its animation and the fights and everything and the moments, it really did enhance the Wano arc to make it a goated arc. in the One Piece series. You know, if it had that passive animation like it's been going on the past few years, you know, who knows what people think about it, you know? I feel like the arc with the, you know, I feel like this is the arc where they had a lot of really good animation and crazy stuff and everything, which just enhanced it. Again, the moments in this arc is unforgettable. Gear 5 obviously is going to be the most memorable moment of this arc, clearly, especially anime wise. Absolutely crazy, but I really do enjoy the one arc. It was a great arc. It's in my top 5. I'm definitely gonna. It's one of those arcs when, you know, you just look back and you're like, damn, that's kind of the thing. But before I get out of here, we now that the one arc is over, now we are officially in the end game. Now, during the time of the manga, after the one arc was over, basically Oda made the mention that okay, after Wano ends, we are essentially in the end game now. We are in the final stages of the One Piece storyline. So, for anime only people, we are here. We are in the final end game. We're in the final, what is quote unquote called the final saga of One Piece. Not the final arc, because that would mean it would be one more arc than the end of One Piece. No, final saga. So I feel like we got maybe a good 3, 4, 5 arcs left in the story to tell potentially, and then we're gonna get the ending of One Piece. But listen, you know, that was kind of the thing right then and there. Yeah, it was definitely crazy to see. Definitely crazy and good to see. Yeah, I'm just ready, man. Final saga is here. Final endgame One Piece. And with what I've been reading in the manga, you know, if you're an anime only, I'm just gonna say certain things are gonna catch you by surprise and shock you, and that's what's going to tell you, oh yeah, we're in the end game. We're in the final stages of Wano. Yeah, there's no turning back from this. So yeah, that's kind of the thing right then and there. And then again, like I said, I'll link a description. I'll link it in the description below. There's a video sent out by Toei Animation on their YouTube page talking about basically giving you a short little preview to the next arc, which is the Egghead arc. Which that arc is crazy enough within itself. Yes, Nami and Robin be wearing very attractive outfits. Yes. But it's gonna be crazy. That arc is gonna be crazy, and that arc doesn't start till next year. So it doesn't start till next year on January 7th. Now, does that mean is One Piece going on hiatus? Are they going on break? No, unless for the holidays, obviously. They'll be going on break, but clearly what's going to be happening is we're going to be getting canon materials. We're still getting canon material. We're just going to find out what's been going on in the outside world of One Piece while the Straw Hats were in Wano and everything. But I'm definitely looking forward to January 7th for the Egghead arc to start, because it's the first arc in this final saga of One Piece that right now in the manga, holy hell, man, is a bunch of plot twists and turns. And you know, I was definitely waited to see how this arc was going to be animated, and oh boy, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where this arc is getting animated. So we'll definitely see where it's going to go. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. This video has been very long. Excuse me, very long. I want to enjoy the rest of my night, maybe get some video games in and things like that. But yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. Catch you guys in the next video. Till then, guys, stay safe out there and have a great rest of your night. Peace.